Welcome back to Ladies Love the NFL with Tam Tam. I'm your girl and here to talk about what went down this week in the NFL playoffs. We had another crazy round of games and we finally know who the final four teams are going into the NFL playoffs. But let's do a quick recap. Last time we were here, we had the wild card games and that took us down to the final 8. In the AFC round, we had the Ravens facing off against the Texans and the Chiefs facing off against the Bills. Now, the winner of these rounds will go on to the championship games, and that makes them one more game away from the Super Bowl game, which is very important. It's what they're all here to do. Everybody's trying to get that chip. It's one of the most important things of your career as a pro athlete. You can be one of the greatest players, but if you don't have any championships, are you one of the greats? That's always been an argument. So that's what they're fighting for. There's a lot on the line. Let's start off with recapping the AFC. This week in the AFC, the Texans were in Baltimore against the Ravens, and the Ravens made it look easy. They came home with a win, and it wasn't really close, and that's because the Ravens quarterback, the commander-in-chief on the field, he went out and he played an incredible game, and I'm just curious how any team in the NFL is going to be able to stop him. He can pass the ball. He can run the ball. He is such a threat out there, and I wouldn't mind seeing him get a Super Bowl championship, but I do have a dog in the race. We'll get to that when we get to the NFC side, but the Ravens took home the win against the Texans, to be expected. A lot of sports commentators out there do have the Ravens winning the entire thing, and then there is this little NFL conspiracy. The NFL conspiracy is that the Super Bowl logo always has the colors of the teams that will be playing in the big game. And this year, the logo is purple and red. Purple possibly being the Ravens. I mean, they do look the best in the AFC. So who will they play next week for the AFC Championship? Well, that came down to who won the game between the Chiefs and the Bills. The Bills were at home in Buffalo. But unfortunately, the Kansas City Chiefs, they went and they pulled off an upset. Travis Kelce, Mr. Taylor Swift, if you will, he had a couple of touchdowns early on in the game. And honestly, I think the world was shocked that they won. Everybody was expecting the Bills to pull it out, at least I was. But the Chiefs were able to get it done. And so they're moving on against the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Chiefs will be playing in Baltimore where the Ravens have the advantage. So we'll see who wins. My pick is 100% on the Baltimore Ravens. Like I said, they've been playing great. Their quarterback has been playing great. I just don't see how the Chiefs will stop them, but we cannot count out the Chiefs. They are the defending Super Bowl champions. Patty Mahomes and his team pulled it out last year. Will they have a back-to-back this year? They're still in the running. You never know. Anything could happen on Sunday. It's going to be an exciting game to watch, but my pick is the Baltimore Ravens. Who's your pick? Let me know in the comments if you think it's going to be the Ravens or if it's going to be the Chiefs. I'm pretty sure I know which vote the Swifties have, but if you are trying to sound cool, like you know you're talking about football, say it's going to be Lamar Jackson that pulls out the win, but I could be wrong. Now on to the NFC. So after the wild card, we had the Lions, the Bucks, the Packers, and the 49ers still alive to go into the divisional. And the Packers had to battle it out with the 49ers in San Francisco, and they almost did it. The Packers suffered a heartbreaking loss. They played some really good football, but unfortunately, the 49ers did their job as the number one seed in the NFC. They won, and they get to move on to the NFC Championship, where they face off for the winner against the Lions versus the Bucks. Now, the Bucks had to travel to Detroit to face off against the Lions, and the Lions showed up and showed out, and they got the win. It was so nice to see Detroit, a team that went 0-16 not too long ago. I believe it was the 2007-2008 season. They went 0-16. It was the first team in the entire NFL to break a record. Is such a record you do not want to have. And so to see them in an NFC championship for the first time, the city of Detroit earned this. They deserve it. We want to see it happen. I think majority of the country is rooting for the Lions to be at the Super Bowl, and they will be traveling to San Francisco this Sunday where the weather will be beautiful, and they'll be going at it in Santa Clara. My money is on the Detroit Lions. They are playing great on both sides of the ball, on offense and defense. The quarterback, Jared Goff, is doing an incredible job. Aiden Hutchinson and the entire defensive line for the Lions have been putting a lot of pressure on these quarterbacks. The 49ers do have some key injuries that might put them at the disadvantage, which is why I especially think that the Detroit Lions will win. But you never know. The 49ers are at home. That home field advantage does matter. But I want to see the Lions in the Super Bowl facing off against Lamar Jackson. That would be an incredible game to watch. I am so sorry, Swifties. I am so sorry, but I don't think that you guys will be at the Super Bowl this year. I don't. You never say never, but my vote is it's a Lions-Ravens Super Bowl. Tell me who you got in the comments. And if I get it wrong, tell me that too. I want to hear what you have to say about my picks, but I'm going with the blue and silver on the NFC side as the champions for the first time ever. And the Baltimore Ravens, who have won the AFC Championship before, they actually have they won a Super Bowl not too long ago as well during that period of 0-16 for the Lions. So the Ravens are familiar with this type of success. We'll see what happens at the completion of the games on Sunday. It's going to be such an exciting thing. Make sure you tune in and watch it. We are so close to the Super Bowl. If you haven't been catching any games or it's too confusing, this is where it starts to get much more simpler. We're in the final 4 teams, and then it'll take it to the final 2, and then we're at the Usher concert with the side game that is the Super Bowl.
Hey everyone, I'm Neko Gumike with the LA Sparks, and you are watching iFv&x Television.
Profanity Nation. A podcast for the fans, by the fans. Dive deep into the topics the other shows miss. Raw and uncensored.
And he's going to play team ball. His legacy is at stake.
Rare, hard-hitting interviews with players, coaches, and you, the super fans.
I'm not hating. I'm like, okay, cool. Good.
3 championships in 5 years. He's more than good, bro.
Profanity Nation. Listen live or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform.
Shout out iFv&x Television. This is Juju Watkins. See y'all.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Chanel Gwimike, and you're watching iFv&x Television. Boom.
Some things to watch out for this weekend while you're watching the games is sacks, especially Aiden Hutchinson from the Detroit Lions. If you see a quarterback go down onto the ground while he's holding a football, there's a really good chance he was just sacked. So make sure you watch out for that. Also, make sure you're looking at those lines that are being digitally put on the field. That line of scrimmage is so important. Nobody can cross that line before the ball is snapped. And if you see a flag get thrown while everybody's just kind of standing on that line and there's no football in action, what has just happened is there was a flag thrown because somebody probably moved on that line, somebody on either offense or defense, and the ref will let you know who it was, and there will be a penalty for it. Also, make sure you're looking out for first downs. There is a little thing on the screen that'll tell you if it's 1st and 10 or 2nd and 7 or 3rd and 1, but make sure you're paying attention to that. That's how we know where the ball is going to go. Is it going to stay on offense? Are we about to transition the ball to the other team? That is so important. And then those hash marks on the field, that's how we're measuring. So that line of scrimmage, that's the start. And if they need to get 5 yards, you're going to want to see if they get 5 little hash marks. And if they do, they got the first down. That is so important. And I hope you're looking out for that while you're watching the game. Here's how to have a little bit of fun while watching the game. Now, sports betting can be very complicated, and it usually involves choosing the winner of the game. But some other fun bets that you can have are who's going to win the coin toss at the beginning of the game, or who's going to be up at the half, or who is going to score a touchdown first, not a field goal, a touchdown, or who's most likely to get the most sacks, things like that, or whose defense is most likely to get more interceptions. Those are some really fun bets that will also make you sound really knowledgeable, like you know what's going on in the game. Or another one is who's going to get the most penalties. These are all really fun ways to get engaged with the game and just really watch it from a different lens if you're bored just watching it straight through. Your homework for the week is to first make sure you download the PDF that I've created for the show that gives you all the terminology and extra information that you're seeking. I also want you to see, anytime you see a ref throw a flag next to the line of scrimmage, I want you to see if you can determine whether or not it was offsides or if it was a false start. Offsides is going to be the offense jumped too soon, and a false start means that the defense jumped too soon. So I want you to try to predict when you see it happen, who it was on, and report back. I hope you were able to learn a lot about what just happened in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and I hope you're really excited about the conference round. We're about to see if Taylor Swift is going to be at any more NFL games, and then we're also going to find out who's going to be at the Super Bowl this Sunday. That is so exciting. Make sure you come back so you catch the Super Bowl preview, and also we'll talk Pro Bowl and what is that even about. It's been fun hanging out with you and teaching you all about football. I'll see you on the next one. I've been your host, Tam Tam, and this is Ladies Love the NFL. Learn to love the game. Peace. All right, that's all for this episode. Make sure you come back next week so we can recap this round, which is the conference championship round, and so we can get you ready for the Super Bowl. It's been a pleasure being here with you. Make sure you check out Infinity TV for new episode drops, and it's been a pleasure hanging out with you. Until next time, I've been your host, Tam Tam, and this is Ladies Love the NFL.